To the Larkspur Planning Commission meeting of Tuesday, November 14. Could we please have a roll call?
Natasha Chalmers.
Present.
Liam Campbell.
Present.
Jeff Swisher.
Present.
Brock Wagstaff.
Present.
And Max Williamson is absent. You have a quorum.
Thank you. Do we have any public comments on matters not on the agenda? That would be in the room tonight and on Zoom.
We aren't by city council action. We're not taking any public comments by Zoom
Anymore?
temporarily right now. So they might reconsider, but as tonight and for the short term, the city's not taking any public comments by Zoom.
Allowed to, or...
Just in response to some really offensive and racist comments that have been made at a lot of different public meetings during the Zoom open time.
Oh, interesting. Do we have anyone on Zoom as an attendee?
We do. Your liaison, Kevin Carroll, I believe, is in Zoom. And then we also have one member of the public, Carrie B, is in Zoom.
Okay, so to be clear, that whoever's on Zoom right now is not able to comment. So they would have to come in person tonight.
Correct.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so hearing none, I could like to request the planning director's report, please.
Thank you. I wanted to start because he's going to run out to dinner by introducing our new building official, Bill Hansel. And he's an architect, but also coming to us from most recently from the city of El Cerrito. But go ahead and say a few words if you'd like.
Well, it's great to meet you all, and it's really a pleasure to be here with the city. This is my third week, I think. So still getting oriented, but my background is over the last 7 years was managing special districts, background in fire, parks and rec, water, roads, etc. Prior to that, I've been an architect, a registered architect for more than 30 years with a range of different experience. And I came to the Bay Area to work on the San Francisco International Airport terminal, and worked for large firms for a while, and then had my own firm in Marin with about half of my work being residential of various types all around the Bay. And then also a lot of commercial and retail work and some institutional work. So it's great to be here.
Thank you, and yeah, welcome.
And I'm sorry I have to run out, but my family, my family's having dinner down the street. So
Yeah, dinner's
so I ordered and then said, I'll be right back.
Oh, funny. Oh, then run.
So it's great to meet you all. I look
Enjoy
forward
your
to
dinner.
working with
Thank
you.
you.
Thanks.
Anything else?
The only other comment was I was going to make the comment that we're not taking public comment by Zoom. So that concludes my staff report.
Great. Well, thank you, Elise. So we have one item on the public hearing portion of our meeting tonight. It's 265 Magnolia Avenue, PLN 2347. And if we could please have the staff report.
Yes. Give me just a moment here to get the PowerPoint pulled up. Okay. Good evening, commissioners. The item before you is PLN 2347 for 265 Magnolia Avenue. The subject property is directly across Magnolia Avenue from the Lark Creek Shops. It's just down the street here. The project applicant is requesting a variance to the parking requirements and an amendment to the existing conditional use permit to allow a medical use throughout the entire building. The current medical use there was approved under a use permit in 2009, only for a portion of the building. The existing parking layout contains 7 spaces. This layout was approved in, I think it was 1998 when the property was developed with this building. In 2009, the Planning Commission approved the conditional use permit I just mentioned for a low intensity medical office, which at the time was a hair loss clinic. No parking variance was required. As mentioned in the staff report, the upstairs section of the building is occupied by Hayes Valley Medical and Aesthetics, and the remaining first floor space would be leased to an orthodontist should this item be approved. Medical uses require 1 space for every 200 square feet of the use and an additional space per each office. So that means the existing or the requirement should the medical use, the orthodontist be approved would be 16 spaces, and there are currently 7 on site. As mentioned in, there we go. In the variance findings, there are street parking spaces available on the 200s block of Magnolia Avenue. There's, I think, 17 standard spaces and 1 handicapped ADA space. Additionally, there are uses in the area which are primarily evening uses, which would not use their parking spaces during the daytime hours when this use would be in operation. In particular, there's Perry's, Pico's, and the backstage space. And then just as a refresher, oops, there we go. These are the findings, and these are the findings for a variance. They are in the staff report with staff's justification. And these are the findings for the conditional use permit. I can go back if you want some more time to look at them. Staff did receive one comment from a neighboring property owner providing a report on the existing conditions and the parking issues that they face. And finally, staff recommends that you approve the project subject to findings, conditions of approval, and a Class 1 CEQA exemption. This concludes my report. I'm available for questions, and the property owner and applicant is here as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Alex. Do we have any questions for staff?
Was there a letter available from the packet? Maybe I didn't see it.
Yeah,
Or maybe
that's what it looks like. yeah.
oh, okay.
Actually, on that letter, can we clarify if the parking across the street, the retail for the retail center is only for the retail center customers, or
Yeah, they
can
do have
people on this side-
signs
yeah.
in front of, I don't know how well it's enforced. They do have signs in, I think, probably 30 or 40% of the stalls. But they're easily visible that say it's for the Lark Creek Center shoppers only, and there's a 2-hour limit on it.
Okay. But yeah, the business upstairs is referring people to that center, right?
That is my understanding, although I did speak with the property owner, and I believe that has been addressed. Or
Okay.
it was mentioned, and they said they would address it.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe we'll come back to that. All right. Any more questions for staff? Okay, can we then have the applicant speak? Is the applicant in the room tonight? Great, hi.
Well, my name's Thomas Young. I bought the building a little over a year ago. And at the time when I purchased it, there was a hedge fund downstairs and they were going to move to Denver. So I knew they were moving out. So I've been working with Wakefield and Cushman as well as Meridian and realtors to see if I can get somebody new to go into the bottom for a year and 5 months now. I've had 2 very serious applications over that entire time. One being the orthodontist, which would really like it. I think it would be fantastic, right? All the middle school and high school, all within walking distance, making it a great tenant for, I think, the city as well as for myself, be a long-term lease. And so I'm obviously hoping that we can get it approved so that I can get a quality tenant in there, especially where we live in an economic circumstance right now where it seems like close to nobody wants to move in. So the occupancy is an issue. The other thing I did is I've come here maybe 2 or 3 times every week since I purchased the building, and I've never had a parking issue either in our parking lot or seen it next door at Keith's. I was actually surprised to see Keith's memo. I went for the last 4 days. I've just gone by and snapped pictures. His parking lot has practically been empty on Friday, which was a holiday, Saturday, which I think he works, yesterday, today. So I've taken pictures if you guys want to see it. I took pictures of our lot, which is right next to it. And you know, we don't have parking issues in our lot. We haven't had parking issues since I've purchased the building. People do park in there in the evenings, which I'm totally fine with, right? It's like, let it be. There's Perry's there, there's Pico. I'm happy that people are parking in the 265 Magnolia parking spot after hours. Not had any issues with overnight stuff or anything like that. And I do know that the reference to the parking across the street, I clicked around on the website from Hayes Valley Medical for at least 30 minutes and I couldn't find that link. But I did ask, so Sheila Miller's here, who's the general manager of Hayes Valley Medical. It has been removed. I don't think there was ever any intention to tell people you need to go park across the street, especially since we have ample parking in our own parking space. And I've also, at the request of Alex, who's said, maybe you want to be prepared to know how many people are coming into the facility. And Hayes Valley Medical has about, on average, 2 people at any given time. So it's not a high volume practice where there's 10 people sitting there and waiting. And the orthodontist, it's a very small space. It's a small practice. He's a, what's the right word? He's a seasoned orthodontist that had a practice in Mill Valley. He sold it 5 years ago. He retired. He wants to come out of retirement. His non-compete's over, and he really likes the location. So I guess that's my, plea for you guys to please, help me get an occupant into the building.
Thank you very much.
Did you want to see any of the pictures I took?
Sure. Yes, please.
I just wrote up there the time. Yeah. And I just literally just drove into town and snapped them and drove out.
And then, so do we have any questions for the applicant? I had one question, which was, you started to answer the question I wanted to ask, which was how many, I guess, patients are coming in. You said about 2 people per appointment for the Hayes Valley.
2 at any given time.
What about the orthodontist? Is it just him?
It'll just be him, yes.
So it's really only 1 or potentially 2 at a time then?
Yes.
Okay,
It's a very small space. It's 1,000 square feet, give or take. I mean, it's
right,
a very small space downstairs.
right.
And I suppose in theory, he could park someplace else besides the parking lot.
Well, absolutely. I mean, I
If-
think the beauty
If
is
you need
that
the space.
the beauty is the kids can actually walk here from the schools, right? I mean, that's, to me, it's all about less car volume. And I would think that having an orthodontist in town where all the children that are going to school can walk to, during school, after school, whenever it may be, I think it's ideal.
No, I just had one question for you. Do you know how many parking spaces like there's a dentist I see across do they have parking?
You talking about the one that's just
It's on this
to the
side.
fire department here?
Yes.
They do have a little parking lot, but I don't believe it's actually, maybe you can remember, it's not on their property. They just
It's not
use
theirs.
it.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's not
Or
even
it's-
theirs? Oh.
It's on a separate site, but they use it, and the owner owns, it's 2 different lots. And so they use the front of it, but they're actually separate sites. And I think there's 4 spaces and then they park another 4 in front, I believe.
Oh, okay, so they have more.
So it's like 4 tandem.
Tandem.
Oh, tandem.
Did Dr. Denkler in 275 have to get a variance for his medical use for that building, since it's how many parking spots for 1 parking spot for 200 square feet? And it seems that he would have had to apply for a variance as well for his space.
I will check on that. I did look, off the top of my head, I don't think that a variance was required, but let me just do a quick look here and see.
Yeah, I mean, the building is more than, I would say it's at least 1,000 square feet. So I think
But
but-
doesn't he have more spaces there?
it looks like he's got 4,
So it's,
You can should be able to count them. I think.
5.
3 on the street and then.
Yeah.
Another.
That's on the street.
Yeah,
So-
maybe
so-
smaller building with.
So he didn't have to apply for, I mean, I just
Yeah.
want to make sure this isn't a case of.
Yeah, there's no variance.
You know,
in
you know,
in the
good for thee
picture.
and not for thee, kind of
Alright.
thing. Okay.
any more questions for staff or the applicant? No?
I've got one. On the general plan consistency, there's just a note that says the site's also within the downtown Larkspur specific plan, and then a note to say something about
Oh.
compliance with the plan.
Sorry.
So I was just wondering if you guys could touch on that.
I must have put a note that he didn't catch in there.
Oh.
Well, the downtown specific plan, there is a specific plan for downtown Larkspur. And a lot of the main intent of the plan is to keep thriving businesses and keep, it's mainly, and the vibrancy of downtown. And so I think this business is actually, or a medical use, in my opinion, would actually bring more people downtown as opposed to having the office uses that would be allowed, which there might be employees that would maybe visit places downtown, but an office wouldn't necessarily bring any patrons to other businesses downtown. So I think the medical use to me seems like something that would actually help the other businesses downtown.
Right.
Thank you.
Anything else? So do we have any comments from? I guess you're the only person in attendance tonight. Nope. In that case, we'll bring it back to the commission for discussion. Does anyone like to go first?
I think given the really excellent staff report and the consistency with the plan and the fact that we are in a very limited parking environment in Larkspur, I do think it's a good use for the building, and I agree with you that it would be beneficial to have more medical facilities in toward downtown, and not just because I'm a doctor, and just because I think it's a good idea. I think you're right. I think having an not orthopedic, an orthodontic physician downtown is a good idea. And I think it would be good to have the kids be able to walk there. So I am no problems with granting this variance.
Thank you.
I'm in the same boat as Jeff. I think it's a really good use of the building, and I think there are many other buildings that have only street parking. So I would support it too.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm in general agreement with my fellow commissioners. I think that it's consistent with the general plan and sort of the vision, of what we want Larkspur to be. And I don't think that if we did deny this tonight, that would be the solution to the parking issues. So I think I'm in favor of granting the variance.
Thank you. Yeah, and I agree too. I reviewed the findings in the staff report. Thank you. And I agree with them. I can definitely make them tonight. There's really no more room on site. And you clarified about the number of patients that were coming for each tenant. So I think we're all in agreement here. We can
I'll make a
someone can
motion.
make a motion.
Yep.
Yeah.
I make a motion that we grant the variance for the project at 265 Magnolia Avenue, APN 021-101-12, Thomas Young applicant.
Second, please.
I'll second.
Can we please have a vote?
Commissioner Chalmers,
Yes.
Commissioner Swisher,
Yes.
Commissioner Wagstaff,
Yes.
Commissioner Campbell,
Yes.
and Mr. Williamson is absent. The motion carries.
Great. Thank you very much. Thank you for coming in tonight.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll close the public portion of our hearing tonight. We'll move on to the business items. I have not reviewed the minutes actually from the last meeting.
Because you don't have.
Yes, those did not make it into your packets, unfortunately, so we will need to continue that to the
Well,
next meeting.
Okay, we
My
will do that.
apologies.
And then do we have any planning commissioners reports? No. So in that case, can we,
Thank you.
thank you, bye.
Oh, I have
yeah.
something.
Oh.
The community garden, Larkspur Community Garden, had a great garden work day a couple of weeks ago where we all cleared out our plots and got the garden ready for winter. So it was a great community event.
That's great. Thank you for sharing that.
Also, I do have a slight report. The Commons Foundation has been involved in meeting with 3 different applicants who will provide design build. And the decision has not been made at all as to who it is. But the process is moving along.
Thank you for that update. Any more updates? No, nothing? Should we move to adjourn?
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
A second?
I'll second it.
And can we just all say, Yes.
Yeah, all
Aye,
in
yes,
favor.
I
we'll say in favor? Great.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you. That was a short one.
Short and sweet.